William J. Burke, and the rank was Fire Control Technician, 2nd class. I joined the Navy in 1952. I got out of high school in 1951, worked for a year, didn't have much going. They were drafting at that time. An uncle of mine was in 4th Division Infantry in World War II at 18 years old, and front lines, and 3/4 of his unit got wiped out, and they were drafting at that time, and my uncle said, I don't think you want to wait and go through what I went through. So he said, if I were you, I'd join the Navy. So with that, I did join the Navy. Went to boot camp at Great Lakes, 1952 in May. Got out of boot camp and was sent directly to Norfolk, where I boarded the Missouri. And never forget that night when we got off the truck that dropped us off there. I looked and saw this thing, and I thought, my God, you know, how you ever find my way around this thing, you know? And so within just a few weeks, we took off for Korea, and we were over there till we got over there approximately September of 1952. And we were over there on gunnery missions in North Korea. We operated out of Sasebo, Japan, and gunfire control, which is what I was in. We operated all the time north of the 38th parallel, as far north as Chongjin, North Korea, which was 30 miles from Vladivostok. And we'd be out for a couple weeks or so, and then we'd go back to Sasebo for ammunition and Liberty, and then back. And Sasebo was our home port while we were operating in Korea. Well, I had two different jobs. When I first went aboard, I was in the secondary plotting room for the 5-inch, and was right next to the main battery plotting room, and we could always hear the conversations going on between the helicopters and the guys in the next room, you know, as far as targets, and they'd fire 1-gun salvos until they were close, and then they'd fire for effect, or fire 3-gun salvos and stuff. So we heard a lot of that. I spent about 3 months, I think, down in the plotting room, secondary battery, operating computers, not the computers of today, obviously, all electromechanical. And then I spent the next 3 months as a rangefinder operator and a 5-inch director. And we fired at targets of opportunity on the beach in North Korea. There was 4 5-inch directors, 1 forward, aft, port and starboard, and we had 4 rangefinder operators. We also had a radar right next to us, and in the director there was 4 people in the director, rangefinder operator. Then there was usually a junior officer, and then a pointer and a trainer, and we were always in contact with the gunnery officer, and so pretty much if we found a target or something and wanted to cut her loose, we had to get the permission of the gunnery officer. We were in Korea at one time there, and we were going into Wonsan Harbor, which we probably went in 20 times, and we got some fire from North Koreans, and we couldn't tell where they were firing airbursts at us, which I don't understand. And they were firing airbursts at us, and the gunnery officer was trying to figure out where they're coming from, and he was talking to all 4 of the rangefinder operators, saying, you know, where are these guns coming from? Where's these? And everybody said the same thing. I don't know, sir. We don't know. And he says, well, we need to start firing and find out where the hell they're coming from, the 5-inch. And finally, everybody said, we can't tell, we don't know. He says, I don't care if you fire 5,000 rounds, he says, take the top off that mountain over there and cut them damn things loose right now. So we started firing. We found out later that the spotters for North Korea were on the back side of the mountains, or the front side of the mountains, and the guns were on the back side of the mountains, so they were firing over the mountains, and we couldn't tell where the fire was coming from. So, like I said, Wonsan Harbor was a hot spot. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I used to, when we were not firing 5-inch, I would open my hatch, sit on top, and watch them fire 16-inch guns for a long time, and they bombed or fired 16-inch guns and stuff in Wonsan Harbor, I think every day of the war, Korean War, every single day. I'd sit on top of my 5-inch director, and normally when we were firing 16-inch, we were not firing the 5-inch. I could sit out there and watch the shells go. You could see them go for probably half a mile or a mile, I don't know. And the explosion was just a monstrous fireball, but you could stand it. Even at 5 decks up in the director, you could stand the concussion and stuff. It was not a big deal. However, when they started firing the 5-inch, you better be in the hatch because you couldn't stand it. The crack and it just almost blow your ears out. I think, I'm going from memory now, I think on our tour in 52 and 53 there, I think we fired approximately 4,000 16-inch or 3,000 16-inch and about 5,000 5-inch in our whole 9-month tour over there, something like that, approximately. Shelling ashore during the Korean, obviously we had no defense against submarines. We were always operating with a destroyer. We had no, we always operated with carriers. We always had a carrier within close proximity. Personally, the antiquated fire control systems and 40 millimeters, which we did not use at all in our Korean, matter of fact, we never even, when we went into fire in Wonsan Harbor and all the other missions that we were on, the 40 millimeters were never even used in Korea. We, as a matter of fact, didn't need them. If we were ever attacked by jets from North Korea, which we were not, we couldn't have shot one down if we tried, in my opinion, based on some firing practice that we had on the way to Korea. Doesn't sound too good, but that was true. We had a spotting helicopter for the 16-inch. We had a ensign and a couple of Marine officers lost when they were shot down when we were in Korea. That's the most vivid memory of the cruise to Korea in 1952-53. Aboard the Missouri, we had 2 helicopters, and they were used to spot on shore for firing of the 16-inch guns. And the ensign flew the plane. We had 2 Marine spotters. They flew over inland, maybe 2 miles, maybe 4 miles, 10 miles, and directed fire for the 16-inch guns on any targets of opportunity, or targets that were called in from the Army boys that were in combat there.